Now that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are effectively intentionally crashing the US economy, there's almost certainly going to be a huge influx of people who are growing victory gardens or food gardens for the first time. And unfortunately, a lot of times when people first start gardening, they end up way overpaying for the supplies that they need to get started because they don't yet know any better. So since I grew up in the rural panhandle of Oklahoma and spent a lot of my childhood on farms, I wanted to quickly share with you guys 3 tips that will save you hundreds of dollars if you follow them. And to be clear, this video is not an ad. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't even sell things on TikTok Shop, and no one is sponsoring me to tell you about these things. I just genuinely feel very passionately about gardening and wanting to help make sure that people don't get taken advantage of or spend too much money on things. So probably the number one thing that you can do to save money on gardening is making sure that you're starting your plants from seed instead of buying the already growing plants at a greenhouse. It is important to note that the window for when you can start seeds and have them ready to be transplanted in time is very quickly closing. So if you decide to go that route, you need to get your seeds purchased ASAP and get them started ASAP. But even when you're doing seeds, there are still things that you can do to save even more money compared to going and buying the seeds at the store. My number one favorite thing to save money on seeds is going to the nonprofit Free Heirloom Seeds. You can find them if you just type in Free Heirloom Seeds, a period, and then ORG, trying to stay on the algorithm's good side. They operate on a suggested donation basis. I want to say this year, the suggested donation is like $10 for every 15 packets of seeds that you request. So that figures out to $1.50 a packet, which is way cheaper than I have been able to find in any store. And even if you can't afford to buy seeds, they do allow people to request up to, I want to say it's 8 packets of seeds each year completely for free, although that is on a first come, first served basis. Once you request your seeds, and it walks you through on their page how to do that, they send you the seeds. It takes up to 4 weeks to get them. They send them in these little manila envelopes, and each one has a label on the back that gives you instructions on how to grow that particular plant. The next thing that you can do to save money when you're starting a garden is stay away from anything that has the brand name Jiffy Seed or Miracle Grow. That's not to say that they aren't awesome companies. They're perfectly fine. But especially when it comes to starting a garden and like seed starting, anything that has those brand names on it, you are way overpaying for whatever it is. Particularly those seed starting tray kits where you get the tray, you get a lid, and then it has those pellets that are just little circles that when you soak them, they expand. They're neat, they're extremely convenient. They are also way overpriced. So what I recommend you do instead is call your local greenhouse and ask them if they have any plug trays that they will be discarding that they would be willing to either give you or sell you for very cheap. I go to my local greenhouse every year and get these plug trays. There's 128 spots in each one, and I pay them $1 per tray. I also do not buy the pre-made seed starting mix. That's also super overpriced. If you just Google seed starting mix, you're going to pull up a million different pages that have where people are sharing what their recipe for seed starting mix is. I have been known to start my seeds in literally just whatever leftover soil I have in a bag in my garage before. I don't think you need to be super precious about it at all. But once you get it, you just dump a bunch of it on top of the tray, move it around to fill up each hole, and you end up having a seed starting tray for way cheaper. Obviously, these don't come with a lid, so I just get a clear trash bag and put it around it and fold the end under. Finally, if you are living in an area where you need to do container gardening, like if you're a renter and you don't have like a backyard that you can plant in, you don't have to go out and buy pots or grow bags. I will often use whatever reusable bag I have just laying around my house. One of my favorite ones is IKEA bags. Obviously, this is the Pride version of the IKEA bag because I figure, why not remind people how much I love a good set of tits as frequently as possible. But I will literally just take an IKEA bag, poke some holes in the bottom of it so that it does have drainage, and then just dump dirt in the bag. And it works just as well as a grow bag. It works just as well as like an expensive flower pot. So any reusable shopping bag that you have that you're not using, that can make an excellent planter. So those are just a few tips for getting started. I love hearing about people's gardens. So if you are doing a victory or a food garden this year, whether it's your first time or you're an experienced gardener or anywhere in between, I'd love to hear about your garden. So if I think of more money saving tips, I'll probably make another video. Like I said, not trying to sell you anything. I just want you to not overpay for the things you need for your garden.